Hey there everyone, Lord Fidget here, finally back with another Aether Raids gameplay video. It has been quite some time since I last did one of these. I finally was able to scrape together the motivation to edit a video together. Inertia is a very, very powerful force indeed. I've actually been recording my AR gameplay for probably about a month now, and I just haven't been able to put together the motivation to actually edit the video together. So here I am. I'm hoping to make this a regular feature of the channel again, but time will tell if I can keep the motivation going. So we'll have to see. Here I have now not commentated basically half the map, but that's okay because this map is kind of terrible. I actually thought the hardest part here would be getting a bonus KO for Eliwood. This is Chaos Season, of course. And turns out that wasn't an issue at all. I didn't realize belatedly that I did not deploy a dragon or beast unit, so his C passive is actually offline. I'm drawing a blank on what the name of his C passive is. My brain is saying Heritors of Arcadia, but I'm pretty sure that's the name of the song that plays during the credits of Shadows of Valentia, so I'm not sure what's up with that. For match number 2, I deployed the same team, except with Nils instead of Azura, so now I have the Eliwood C passive online. And here I'm actually going to take full advantage of a new toy for me. Something I haven't really been making use of, and that is the safety fence. This is actually the second season that I am using this. I decided to finally give it a shot after running into a map that it would have been really nice to have it. And I just didn't because I was stubbornly refusing to put more than 3 structures on my bottom row there. So I finally decided to give it a go, and I'm quite satisfied with the results so far. I'll probably just keep it around. And yeah, just the ability to use a hit and run team and just not get punished on turn 1 is too funny. I was also able to have Citrinne take out Diamant there. That's a fun little interaction I discovered during Summoner Duels one day. I was pretty surprised that she was able to pull that off, and also very entertained, so of course I had to do it again here. Even if she hadn't been able to do that, All Christ is also one of Diamant's better answers, so with him being available, would have enabled that. And that was a pretty swift finish to that second map. In match number 3, I actually have 2 teams, 2 Citrinne charge teams. One of them is Alchrist for when you just need that extra little wall-breaking punch, and one of them is for Gulveg, where you have 1, she flies, and 2, that extra action can come in really handy sometimes, like right here. And normally her extra action comes with a movement penalty, where she can only move 1 space. But because of charge, she's actually able to just warp 3 spaces in cardinal directions. That enables me to get out of enemy threat range, turning on the safety fence. Fortunately, the enemy has a bolt tower in the column, in the 4th column, as opposed to a catapult. That would have been pretty disastrous. And I was able to just lock down the enemy actions and force them to wait a turn while I just freely set up. After that, it becomes it becomes completely the Gulveg show. Her extra action skill is now back up, and also she is able to use the Flared Sparrow skill to restrict the movement of Guinevere and the enemy Gulveg. Alear, of course, is restricted by just the fact that she's a melee unit and there's a bunch of objects and mountains in her way. Yeah, so let's really just clean up from here. Once Gulveg takes out the Alear, the enemy's Gulveg has no way to properly approach my army. So I am free to take out the Guinevere and then start setting up for the Aether Structure destruction. The Aether Structure demolition, maybe is the better term. I did also forget to have Eliwood grab a bonus kill. I do that a lot during Chaos Seasons, where I will just completely forget to have my bonus unit get a KO. It's quite unfortunate, really. But at the end of the day, it's Chaos Season. It's really easy to maintain Vault of Heaven in Chaos Season just because of the scoring mechanics, so no big deal. Deploying the Gulveig team again into the... What is this? The fourth map now? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. So I intended to have a turn 1 initiation here by having Citrinne break the street lamp, and then I just didn't break the street lamp. So bit of an oversight on my part. Safety fence triggers, although it wouldn't have been necessary. There's no turn 1 trap stuff here. And the reason it's okay to have Citrinne sit in front of Azura and Asker here is because they die really easily to Citrinne. They just... I mean, they can't even really deal damage to her just because her res is so massive with having a high base, plus also the fact that there's Eliwood in the mix with the bonus doubler and all that jazz. Fortunately, Gulveig is able to take out the Corrin there. I don't think I actually had an out to the Corrin otherwise, so perhaps Alchrist would have been a little better suited to this. Although, actually, I don't know. I've had situations where Alchrist has trouble with Corrin. I think the Earth Vein gives him some trouble even with the Deadeye activations. And then here I withdrew Citrinne so I could finish Arval off on the player phase. That really wasn't necessary. Citrinne can absolutely enemy phase Arval. I mean, he dealt 0 damage there, as you saw. So, oh well. Match number 5. I think this person is actually on my friends list. I haven't really done a whole lot of mock battling recently, but yeah, the names looks really familiar. Here I abused the safety fence again, just getting rid of the the Crom on turn 1. That was... Crom is kind of annoying, honestly, just because it's... I don't know, I find it annoying to deal with his Fate Unchanged in this case. There's so many variations of that assist skill now. Also, something that gave me trouble, Liyun. I wasn't sure if Citrinne would be able to just straight up take her out, and she lives on 1 HP there, so that's pretty annoying. But fortunately, with the Luna activation available for Gulveig, she was able to have the damage output to deal with her. And then from there, it's pretty easy cleanup. Oh, right, Nils has the pulse tie. I was looking at the opposing Citrinne going, why on earth is her special uncharged? So that's another reason to run Nils, really. Yeah, it's just cleanup from here. Not a whole lot to talk about. Maybe I actually get the bonus KO with Eliwood on the Mirabilis. That's, I think, the ideal scenario. But I'm not sure if it ended up happening. We'll have to see. I would imagine it did. I think Citrinne can... Yeah, because the only way to get to the Amphore is to have Citrinne walk onto the Bolt Trap and then charge up to grab it. And then, yes, Eliwood gets the KO. Perfect. On to the next match. Playing a different team this time. This is obviously a very Edelgard-heavy team. Flame Emperor and Sun Empresses are the only ones who are on this team normally, but because bonus unit this time was release 3, I stuck in the gosh, I'm drawing a blank on her moniker. Yeah, I don't know. The original Edelgard, I'll call her that for now. Of course, I had safety fence. I was obviously not in any danger there whatsoever, but safety fence in this case kind of unnecessary. I actually paused for a bit because I wasn't entirely certain what to do. I should really have moved the Sun Empress's Edelgard up a space, just because there was no threat from the enemy in that position, and it would have been a whole lot easier to get her to the spot that she needed to be. The Embla actually did end up giving me some trouble, but one Yuri attack later, and I was able to have Edelgard finish her off. And of course from here it's just cleanup. That 3 move looks scary, but it's just the charge bonus from Hinoka's weapon. And for some reason, Tana is going after Yuri. I would have thought, well, any of the other units would have drawn her attention, but apparently it's Yuri's turn, so I was able to put Edelgard in position to grab a bonus unit KO, and of course, with 3 move, Yuri is able to grab the Aether Amphore, while Edelgard grabs the Aether Fountain on the left. On the right. I know my directions, I swear. Into the second to last match, using more safety fence shenanigans, I was able to have Golvig take out the Corrin before the Stone Vein came online. That's always really nice when you're able to do that. And then I got a little thrown by the Kanto control. I'm still kind of getting used to playing Golvig, despite the fact that she's been on my... I built a light season team that uses her. And I've been using that for quite a while now. But I still get thrown off sometimes by some skill interactions. Alas. Not a huge deal here. The enemy doesn't really have any chase down capability anymore. I think maybe the biggest issue would be the Cordelia providing warp power, and the Freyr just with his Freyr with his naturally high movement. But I am actually able to take out both of them here. Took a bit. I'm actually surprised I didn't pause the recording and go into thinking time for this, but evidently I just didn't care enough to do so. I do remember, I did forget that she would have her extra action skill back up. As I get my low battery notification, I was quite surprised when that triggered. It's like, oh, she can move again. That changes my calculation slightly. I can actually take out the Claude now, as Nils can, of course... oh, sorry, never mind. I did something completely different to what I was expecting me to do. Thanks, me. Throwing me for a loop there. I was able to have Golvig Kanto away, of course with the Medeus gone. There was no more Kanto control, so she was able to run away, and I didn't have to use Nils to Kanto. Okay. For the final match of last Chaos season, this map does not have a far save armor, although I guess it didn't. I don't think it really would have mattered, to be honest. And they have a team that is vulnerable to a 2-range approach on the left side. So that kind of tells you all you really need to know about how to get in on this map. I did actually underestimate, or perhaps it was overestimate. I overestimated Golvig, I think. I thought she would be able to take out either Freyr or Marianne. Turns out, she falls short of KOing Freyr, and Marianne just takes her out on the counterattack. So that was a tad unfortunate. But Citrinne is able to, of course, cut through any damage reduction effects with Special Spiral 4 and get the enemies moving. Then there was a whole rally chain, which I guess could theoretically be annoying. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe that's the idea behind making this map look super approachable, but I'm not entirely certain. In any case, it actually... Well, I'm not sure it really had an impact for this map. I can see in some cases it might be annoying, just because it delays the enemy's advance. So if you spend a whole bunch of time getting up to the left side of the map, then maybe you don't actually have enough time to take out all the enemies because their approach is slowed by all the rallying they have going on. But I'm not convinced. I don't think there's enough there. Maybe if there were also like drawback loops or something like that. But yeah, fairly swift cleanup for this map, with Golvig able to take out the Amphora, and hopefully Eliwood takes out the Sonya here. Oh yes, okay, there he does. Perfect. And that is it. Thanks so much for watching the first Aether Raids gameplay video in quite some time. Again, hopefully I'll be able to get back into the habit of putting these out weekly, but I unfortunately cannot make any promises. So, as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you next time.